Today I want to talk about the formula for a good live stream. Formula for a good live stream. Because A, I don't always follow it. B, I should. C, it's important because if you don't have a good formula, you won't get people to listen through. You don't want them to just tune in. That's your hook. Now, so if people don't watch my live stream, then I know the hook wasn't any good. Like what I put in the preview line about the topic of it, right? But if they listen but they don't stick, then my content wasn't good, right? So it kind of lets you diagnose your live streams a little bit. So the formula is your promise. It's a very simple formula. Promise, three 3 points and a call to action, or a promise 1 point, 3 illustrations and a call to action, right? You can do it either way. If you're good at telling stories and illustrations, 1 point for a 10-minute live stream is fantastic, is fabulous. You just need 3 good illustrations of a point that's a good meaty point, right? In my case today, I'm just going to give you the 3 steps to a good live stream, which we've discussed them. Number 1 is the hook or the promise. So how are you? Good morning. If you're watching live, type live. If you're watching on replay, type replay. Hey, Andy. What's up, Andy? How are you, man? So the promise or the hook gets people to listen. Andy knows this. He does a lot of live streaming, right? But it's probably the most important part, just like the headline of his sales letter. Now, I don't think my headline today is particularly great. Formula for a good live stream. It's because, sometimes I sleep good and sometimes I don't sleep good because I have these really vivid dreams. Last night, I'm dreaming I'm at some event. I'm supposed to be speaking. I get separated from the other attendees. I find myself out in like a shopping mall or away from the hotel. I can't remember the name of the hotel. Nobody will even help me. I'm trying to get help, and some lady pulls out a shotgun. This is actually in my dream, right? And unfortunately, somebody grabs it and shoots it, and there's no bullet in it. So I walk away. I'm trying to get back to this is my dream, right? So I wake up this morning, I'm like, wow, I need to do a live stream. I've got some coffee, but it's not helping enough, right? Oh, finally getting through my book. Okay, great, awesome. So number 1 is the hook or the promise in any event, right? You want to put as much teeth in it. Now, Russell Brunson makes a great point. You want to test different hooks, test different topics. And the reason is because you want to try to find what people respond to. If you don't have a good hook, then people aren't gonna watch. They're not gonna respond to it. Number 2 is you need your 3 points or 3 illustrations. There's actually a beautiful, great, incredible formula that I don't do, but it's the best formula, which is 1 point and then explanation, application, illustration. Explain the point, explain how it applies to them, and then illustrate it, right? So just as an example of this in the big promise, explain it. Yes, you got to make a big promise, a hook to get people to listen, and then apply it to them. That means, just as an example, Andy, let's say Andy's live streaming, talking about how he gets people, how he makes sales from his blog, affiliate sales from his blog. Great topic, right? And he's really good at it. And so what he would do is then say, okay, what kind of hook am I going to use to get people to listen? Because he could just say, how I make affiliate sales using my blog. And that would probably get people to listen, but it gets a lot more people to listen. He says, how I made, 47 affiliate sales this week using one 10-minute blog post. And people will be like, wow, I really need to listen to that, because it's got that element of ultra specificity to it, which my headline today does not. So I just gave you an example of how I would apply that. And typically it's good to apply it to three different scenarios. I've only got 3 brain cells this morning, so I won't be doing that. And then after you apply it to scenarios that people have, then you illustrate it. And you give a good illustration. So I could say, the other day I had a live stream. It got more people to listen than normal. And this was the subject line and the hook that really got people to listen, right? So then I would illustrate that point. Now, I talk about 3 points, and here's why. I mentioned the other day this book, Magic and Showmanship. Where did I put it? I got it sitting right here around here. Oh, here it is. Magic and Showmanship by Hemming Nouns. I know it's reversed. My OBS broadcasting software does that, right? Magic and Showmanship. He talks about the importance of variation, like in magic, and you want to you vary things. And he says one of the important things is, like, if you're doing a production, you do it 3 times. But you don't do it a 4th time because people will be bored. He says, normally you think in terms of 3s. You think you divide your show into 3s. A trick is divided into 3s. If you're producing something, you divide it into 3s, right? So 3s is really a magic number. And that's why I say 3 points. If you're doing 4 or 5 points, people will get lost. If you're doing 1 point, it may not, unless it's a really good point, it may not be enough. So you need to use the illustrations. And then the last thing is your call to action. My call to action is usually to get my free seed marketing report, go to marlonsanders.com. But your call to action is whatever, right? That's what you want people to opt into. That's your website, your URL, and that kind of stuff. Now, here's what's interesting. You can judge your live stream by how many people stay on it. So like this live stream today, I started out with 4 or 5, and then I went down to 1, and now I've got 2, right? I didn't retain the viewers. So they found my points weren't relevant or important to them. Those are the 2 things. It's really got to be relevant. It's got to be important, and something a little bit unique. Like maybe people already felt they knew that. Oh yeah, Marlon, I already know that. I already thought of that. I don't need to do that kind of thing, right? I don't know. Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. But here's what I do believe is, number one, and I believe in the law of 3s. And you'll notice a lot of times, I don't always do it religiously, but a lot of times I use 3s, 3 points. And I just feel that that's a really great number for a live stream. The other thing is this. I don't care if you use my format. It really doesn't matter. What matters is this. What matters is you have a format for your live stream that works for you. For me, coming up with illustrations is hard, so I don't do a lot of illustrations. Even coming up with explanation application illustrations, the best formula in the world. Coming up with applications and illustrations, really, I mean, that's like takes serious brain power, believe it or freaking not. I usually in the morning when I'm doing my live streams, I don't have the brain cells to do that. I'm still out drinking my coffee, right? And so you got to get a formula that works for you. Now, I can tell you this. The more you can focus on results that you've gotten personally or stories of results, the better it's going to be. The more you're going to engage with. They love stories. They love case studies. They love to hear results. So if you're a good storyteller, especially, and you know a lot of stories, like Andy, you got a bunch of stories of successful students and that kind of thing, use those stories. They're fantastic. If you don't, you need content that has an element of uniqueness to it. Probably today, my formula didn't have, although I'll tell you what, the explanation, application, illustration, that is a great part. Like you can listen to speakers and see right away if they're neglecting to apply their topic to the listeners. You can see if they're neglecting to use enough illustrations. I used to do this with a friend. We would go around to churches and listen to sermons. And we would see, are they explaining their points well? Are they applying each point to the audience members? And are they giving really good illustrations? Some people just give all illustrations, which tends to be a little bit boring. Some people are all application but never illustrated. Some people are all explanations. I tend to do all explanation, and it's not a good thing in terms of variability. Again, in this book, he says one of the rules, one of the laws is variability. You need to have variation, right? You need to have variation. So these are my thoughts about how to do a good live stream. The most important thing is two most important things: that you open it up with a hook and that you have a CTA. Some people give their call to action at the beginning and the end, and the reason is they're afraid people are going to drop off, which I understand. People have got multiple tabs open. They got people calling them. They got their phone. They all kinds of crap going on, right? And so, live, I'll show you this. Live, but a bit late today. Here's another reason some of us sign on and off. I get interrupted by CEO clients and I answer their calls. That's really funny, right? I'll show you that comment. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's a pretty legitimate reason for coming on and off the line. If CEOs are calling you, by all means, pick it up, right? I do it. No problem there, right? And then we had this comment live today, finally getting through. I believe he's talking about my book on marketing systems, Marketing Heaven, the definitive book of systems. So it's we're through part half almost of this November. We're going into Thanksgiving. We're going into Christmas. I talked to you about planning your promotion. Are you going to be doing live streams is my question. I gave you the formula. You know about doing live streams. Now, you don't have to do them daily. Daily is probably too often to hold people's interest. It's just probably too much. I do it because I'm kind of like all or nothing. Like either I'm doing it or I'm not doing it, right? That's just how I am. But, I mean, once a week is perfect. You do one live stream in your Facebook group, your Facebook page or whatever, once a week, and you do a good job of merchandising out to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to your other platforms, you're really good to go. And in fact, I have a new product that will somewhat be related to that. I'm not revealing it yet, but it will be coming out here shortly. I'll just leave it at that. All right. This is what I've got for you today is a couple takeaways. Number one, use the law of threes. Number two, remember the law of variability, vary things up, right? Number three, you already know the importance of the hook, but I'll tell you what is useful that I don't have that I should have is a list of hooks for you, right? I should write that. I need to get you a really good, I'll do a live stream just about hooks, right? I need a really good list of hooks that you can just go. So then when you're doing a live stream and you're in the morning, you're drinking your coffee, you don't have your brain cells yet, you just grab one of the hooks and use it, right? I think that's a very, very useful thing. And then the other takeaway is whether you're doing live streams or not. Like, I believe you should be doing a live stream a week. And, because you want to be omnipresent. You want people when they go to your Facebook, when they go to your Facebook page, Facebook group, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your YouTube, you want them to see something. I don't like it when I go and I check a marketer out and they haven't posted anything for 6 months. I really don't like it. You know why? Because I feel like they're really not that serious about marketing and promoting their business. Yeah, maybe they're using Facebook ads and they're getting all they can. But you know what? Customers check you out on these platforms. And I think it's important that you be there and you show that you're current. You show the best you're able to, that you're relevant, right? You got to show that you're relevant. All right. So to sum it up today, to do a good live stream, number one, you want to have your promise. Number three, you want to have your 3 points. Number two, your 3 points. Number three, you want to have your call to action. And if you're smart and ambitious, you'll use the explanation, application, implication formula. All right. Thank you all for being on. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Go out and do some marketing and make some sales.